So I managed this program end to end during that time. And I did a bit of sales strategy also. And that is something I enjoyed doing a lot.
Mhm.
So a lot of things came up at that point. Ek to sales seekh liya, which is, I believe, one of the best things you can learn no matter what you do. So that's one thing. Second, because I worked with Tetra Pak India and Reliance at that point, they expected me to go to different corporate schools, colleges to like give workshops over how
Okay.
they can become like a bit more responsible. So because of my road track days, because of my parents' background and all, I was a bit inclined towards, being a little more eco-conscious. So I was
Okay.
careful about my decisions. So this is one thing I took as workshops. So my oration skills improved a lot at that point. Be it
Okay.
public speaking, be it just talking in general, that improved a lot because by default I was taking like one session a week at least.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that I felt wasn't by design, but it was very beneficial to me in that job. इंडिया में आपको वर्क एक्सपीरियंस का जरूरत नहीं है to do an MBA. Like
Okay.
most colleges don't even mandate it, probably other than ISB and a couple of other executive MBA degrees. ISB is
Okay.
amazing, no doubt. It requires 2 years of work experience. Other than that, no college demands it. And because it is
Mhm.
not a mandate, not every college has a criteria for it. I'll tell you how the selection happens. आपका जो भी कैट का स्कोर है ना दैट इज ऑब्वियसली कंसिडर्ड बट उनके पास एक पूरा फॉर्मूला होता है से 10th स्टैंडर्ड 10%, 12th स्टैंडर्ड 30%, ग्रेजुएशन 20%, work experience might be 5%. So it varies
Mhm.
college to college. All your IIMs also have it different. And
Okay.
not everyone includes work experience. And that speaks volume as to why it may not be necessary.
Mhm.
So I'll tell you an example. Like while freshers, I won't say are the highest demand in terms of jobs. Say marketing jobs के लिए freshers का ज़्यादा demand होता है, sales के लिए ज़्यादा demand होता है, consulting may or may not happen because they don't trust you enough. And it is true. Like अगर आपने work experience लिया है, you are better equipped in a professional setting, and it is a
Okay.
professional. So ज़्यादा helpful होता है whenever you have a work experience and you're doing MBA. In terms of placement, थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है, not too much.
Okay.
So, in reality, I do not believe that you need to have work experience. It's okay if you have work experience, and too much work experience, what I have seen, may not be the best thing. Maybe say 4 5 years tops is still okay. Beyond that, so people would say ki you go abroad and do your MBA, or only ISB is the option. But if
Mhm.
it is say 1 2 years, that is appropriate. But if I had to give advice to somebody who is studying right now, I would say do it directly after your college. So see, जब आप college student हो, first year, second year, when you meet somebody, you ask for Instagram ID. Now,
Mhm.
fast forward to after graduation, that Instagram ID sometimes, a lot of times changes to LinkedIn because you want to know more about the person, कहाँ से पढ़े, कहाँ काम करते हैं. So I mean that just speaks volume about how important LinkedIn is. Why
Okay.
you should definitely focus on it, like no, you don't have to be an influencer or anything. You just have to know a lot of people, especially if you're coming into the business side of work, will look you up on LinkedIn. Now, I would always suggest college students to think about in what direction they know. I understand nahi pata hota college time pe, but they can
Mhm.
just like portray like a decent image on LinkedIn. What do they do? Projects ka baat kar sakte hain. But like be a bit more active because it definitely holds a lot of importance. Like I'm not saying post regularly, but you can start off. Post about your projects. Post about maybe any scholarships, achievement, any competitions you might have taken part during your engineering or commerce degree. You can always post about these small milestones. It's a start at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be a promotion post or a I'm joining this company as first post. You can.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to our another episode of Beyond the Ranks. So today I have a very special guest with me, Pankaja. So hi Pankaja. So good to have you on our podcast. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Laveen. How about you?
Yeah, same here. All going good. So Pankaja, without wasting much of our time, we will, directly jumping and it would be great if you could, just start by giving your basic introduction about your, academic background, about your qualifications, and about your current role in a nutshell.
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. This is Pankaja here. I am currently in Bangalore, originally from Mumbai. With respect to my education, I completed my MBA 2 years back from this IIM called IIM Sambalpur, and I'm also an engineer. In 2017, I graduated from engineering from this college from Vivekanand in Mumbai. Other than that, currently I have recently shifted roles. So I'm a strategy manager at Razorpay, the fintech company. And just before that, I worked 2 years into management consulting. So it was largely in PwC. I largely took care of aviation and infrastructure projects in the country. And before that, I have a lot of stints in startups. I founded my own startup during my MBA. Other than that, even before my MBA, I worked with another sustainable solutions company called RUR Greenlight, wherein I helped with program management. So, in a nutshell, I've had like a bit of engineering education, a lot of program management, a lot of consulting and strategy in my career. So, in a very brief way, this is my professional introduction. On the hobbies front, I absolutely love traveling. I have traveled every chance that I've gotten in the past 3 to 4 years. Thanks to COVID, the landscape with respect to education and everything changed a lot more. So, I had the opportunity to travel, which I took up. So, yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Great. So thanks, Pankaja, for sharing your brief introduction to our audience. Now, moving on to our another question. I was just going through your LinkedIn and I found that you have completed your BTech in 2017. So,
Yes.
in which domain, in which department you pursued your BTech?
So I did it in electronics. So that was a field of interest. And at that point, I thought it might intrigue me. So that's pretty much why I took it.
Okay. So, post after pursuing your BTech in 2017, completing it in 2017, and you did, I believe, you started your MBA journey
2020.
from 2020. So, could you share your experience of like इन 3 सालों में बीटेक और एमबीए के बीच में इन 2 से 3 सालों में आपने किस किस कंपनी में जॉब की, किस प्रोफाइल पर जॉब की, एंड मोर अबाउट इट.
Right. So I'll start with my engineering in itself because so I said I did electronics. So a lot of reason for taking it up, but also because computer science has a lot of high cutoffs which I had not met. But it's also ground reality कि आप अगर engineer हो तो आपको software like your Accenture, Wipro, Infosys, like name these Cognizant, name these companies, a lot of these are major recruiters. So unless you're like a great coder, you've done many projects, you've ranked everywhere, it's likely if you're from a non-IIT, non-NIT college, you'll get job in one of these places, which is what happened with me. So my
Okay.
first job was Accenture. So
Okay.
very briefly, I worked as a development engineer in Accenture. While I absolutely love the company, but in terms of learning, it was very limited for me. And at that point, I knew there are 2 to 3 ways. One, do I want to be an engineer all my life? And I got that answer. It was a clear cut no. Then what next? So this was around fourth or fifth month when I was in Accenture. तो तब मैंने सोचा कि what can be done? I looked around me. I knew a lot of people because of my Rotaract network, because of my school, and I knew a lot of people had done their MBA. So that's when these seeds started growing in my mind. Ki, okay, this is a direction I can go in, but should I go right away? That was one thing that was on my mind. And at that point, I was like, no, let's take some work experience. I mean, for whatever reason, at that point, I believe some work experience will help me. And then I started thinking in that direction. Now, MBA में क्या करते हैं लोग? What are the subjects? Finance, marketing. Then consulting is something I wasn't aware of back then. So like,
Okay.
okay, marketing looks interesting. Maybe general management is interesting. Let's look for a job in that. So
Mhm.
somehow I got in touch with a friend who worked at this sustainable solutions company. So what this company did was one product of theirs was a composter, which is a sustainable. I mean, like whatever wastage you have, it converts
Mhm.
it into compost, which is then used for your farming, your plants. They grow better. That was one of
Okay.
their patented products. The other
Uh-huh.
one was they worked with Reliance Retail and Tetra Pak India. तो
Okay.
लाइक फॉर देयर सीएसआर डिवीजन बेसिकली जो भी लाइक वेस्ट होता है टेट्रा पैक का जो बॉक्सेस फ्रूटी बॉक्सेस योर मिल्क
Mhm.
बॉक्सेस they ensured it was a pan India initiative. They ensured that it is going back to the company and it's the company's responsibility that they will take care of it. So I managed this program end to end during that time. And I did a bit of sales strategy also. And that is something I enjoyed doing a lot.
Mhm.
So a lot of things came up at that point. एक तो sales सीख लिया, which is I believe one of the best things you can learn no matter what you do. So that's one thing. Second, because I worked with Tetra Pak India and Reliance at that point, they expected me to go to different corporates, schools, colleges to like give workshops over how
Okay.
they can become like a bit more responsible. So because of my road track days, because of my parents' background and all, I was a bit inclined towards, being a little more eco-conscious. So I was
Okay.
careful about my decisions. So this is one thing I took as workshops. So my oration skills improved a lot at that point. Be it
Okay.
public speaking, be it just talking in general, that improved a lot because by default I was taking like one session a week at least. So
Mhm.
that's one of the things that I felt wasn't by design, but it was very beneficial to me in that job. So there was
Okay.
sales, there was this oration, then there was program management, like lots of number crunching. And I knew that eventually it's going to go in the direction of MBA. Now, if you
Okay.
ask why MBA, now like there's no denying you're in India, you want to do MBA. There's a very good chance you do it because you know in terms of your career, you can climb up the ladder faster. You can
Okay.
get a better salary. So that's like common knowledge, I would say. It was also on my mind. And other than that, the subjects really interested me. Most people in India took engineering at that point. So I'm a 2017 pass out. At that time, if you took engineering, like in 2013 and all, it was believed that it's a good career. It is a good career, but people thought कि opportunities बहुत मिलेंगे if you are an engineer. Engineering नहीं किया तो commerce arts वालों का value नहीं है. That's what I used to hear, and that's what maybe our parent generation also believed. It's not at
True.
all true, but at least at that point, it was the common belief that people had.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I had done engineering. But तभी MBA का interest था. So I think back in 2019, which is almost 1.5 year to 2 years into my work ex, I started thinking what to do. MBA I want to do, but then CAT seems very tough. So at that point,
Okay.
I was very hesitant. I had joined one of the classes for CAT, but I was like, let's try GMAT. So I picked
Mhm.
up some GMAT books from friends and I started studying for GMAT. So the
Okay.
good thing about GMAT is opportunities are there in India, but very limited. But competition is also less. It's not like CAT, wherein I think maybe 2.5, 3 lakh people give CAT exam, and we all know the situation with respect to seats. It's highly competitive.
True.
So I gave my GMAT and I horribly scored on that. I had to literally cancel my score. But luckily,
Okay.
I studied well for GMAT. And with respect to some subjects such as English and mathematics came natural to me because I had taken math seriously back in my school time. I'd done
Okay.
basic practice from all of my GMAT books. Then I saw a very random YouTube video actually, like a day before my CAT exam. I don't remember who was the influencer then who spoke about it, but he had given like a strategy. You should tackle this section like this section like this. And I kind of noted that because my preparation
Okay.
level I believed wasn't up to the mark because I had done GMAT. I thought, okay, let's like listen to this person and build a strategy. So I thought about it. Anyways, I don't know everything in terms of say maths and verbal and all. Why even attempt everything? Let's attempt selectively basis my strength. So because I thought I'll trust my instincts over here, I just trusted myself that okay, I'm just going to attempt a few questions. I won't attempt all the questions. And I gave the exam. And at that point, I skipped whole of logical reasoning question, but I attempted a lot of DI questions. And I
Okay.
attempted with 100% accuracy whatever I had attempted. I think I'd gotten like 96 or 97 in just DI without attempting LR at all. With respect
Oh.
to work, again, I was very confident. It was just the quants part where I was a bit skeptical because I hadn't even touched a lot of topics. But luckily, I didn't attempt all of it. I think at least back then, how CAT was designed, it keeps changing by the way year on year. So these numbers might change. But back then, even if you had attempted 50 to 55% of the paper accurately without any mistakes, you could have gotten 99 plus.
Okay.
And so I might have attempted maybe 45% of the paper, mostly accurate. So that helped me get through CAT. So that is my story with respect to CAT. But yeah, it was my motivations were largely I want to get into these management roles. And the
Okay.
industry landscape is such that as an MBA graduate, the roles that I might get, if I do not do that MBA, I might have to give in an extra 3 to 4 years to get the same role. So that's
Okay.
just the truth from where I have experienced it. So that's one of my major reasons. So, well, इसलिए MBA का decision.
Got it. Okay. So thank you, Pankaja, for this detailed answer. So my follow up question here would be कि like आपने proper drop नहीं लिया था अपनी CAT preparation की journey के दौरान. So like you were working at that time. So like how did you manage like आपकी उन youngsters के लिए क्या suggestion रहेगी और आप अपनी जर्नी से ही उसे कोट कर सकते हैं, शेयर कर सकते हैं अपना एक्सपीरियंस कि आपने जॉब के साथ साथ कैट की प्रिपरेशन कैसे की.
So in my case, so I worked with a startup, no. So I had a very good understanding with the founder there. So I did not take a drop, but I think 1 महीने का leave लिया था, wherein I worked like on need basis, but other than that, I did not go to office every day at that point. So that
Okay.
is one favor that I got from my founder then. But other than
Okay.
that, with respect to everybody who does CAT, like I think it still remains true that CAT is an exam of accurate answers. It is not an
True.
exam of 100% correct answers. I mean 100%, 100 or 100 नहीं attempt करना होता. You need to attempt what you know very well. And that's not even the point. You need to know what you know. Because CAT is a timing game. I mean, if you are going to go into a question and you may or may not get it right, you have wasted your chance at scoring a 99 maybe. So CAT is about just knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. I think till this date it remains true कि कुछ नहीं है, कुछ बहुत ही टफ लग रहा है ना, तुम ड्रॉप करो वो, move on to something else that you know you can do better. But on exam day, then like like obviously people get very cold feet if they are worried on the exam day. थोड़ा हो जाता है, and that happens with a lot of people. थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे होता है, even in terms of whatever you might know. But other than that, I think you should just be sure about what you want to attempt and what you don't, what you won't even want to read the whole question. पता चल क्या ना ये से probability का question है, नहीं करना है, पढ़ो भी मत पूरा question, आगे पढ़ो. That's one thing that I would definitely tell anybody who's aspiring to give CAT. Now, this does not remain true for all the entrances. Like GMAT, may you absolutely cannot do that. You will never get a 700 if you do this, because GMAT is an exam wherein you have to get things right. There's no option of skipping. CAT is an exam wherein you can choose your questions that you want to attempt. So
Okay.
definitely stick to your strategy with respect to that, and how you can prepare. Well, it depends. There are some people who function well when they leave everything aside and they are just studying. It's like sink or swim. So that these people then maybe leave their jobs or take a sabbatical. But I was not one of them. I did not have trust in myself that I will crack this exam, that I will do the MBA next year. It was the only time I've given CAT exam. So I did not take a break per se. I took a leave. But for a lot of people, I think you can manage this with work as long as you're not working 13, 14 hours a day. Probably some basic day to day, you can just remove 2 to 3 hours to solve your CAT questions. Like you have a lot of test series, your time, IMS, whatnot. So even if you don't go to a class, it's very important to give these test series, because then you know where you stand. So preparation may, you can leave your job, you can do your job, but do not skip the test series. That's the one way you know what is your weakness. How do you, like, in an exam situation, how are you going to fare? Are you going to get scared? Are you going to screw up, say, the mathematics questions that you otherwise know? You
Mhm.
definitely need to know that. So in terms of prep, definitely inculcate your test series. Other than that, like I can't quote a duration which is enough for somebody to prepare. That varies person to person. I know people who didn't study and got a 99. And I know people who studied a lot, left their job and still got like a 94. So it's like a different recipe for everybody.
Okay. So moving ahead to our next question. I wanted to understand your point of view, because आपने like I have seen many people कि और ये ना एक नेवर एंडिंग डिबेट है, लाइक कि मेरे ना इसमें दो क्वेश्चन रहेंगे कि पहला कि इज एमबीए वर्थ इट, या फिर एमबीए एज अ डिग्री है, एज अ प्रोफेशनल कोर्स इंडिया में, या फिर मतलब अगर मैं ग्लोबली भी बात करूँ तो ओवर हाइप्ड है. व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन दिस? ठीक है. सेकंड सेकंड इज कि व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन कि ग्रेजुएशन के बाद हमें 2 3 4 साल की प्रोफेशनल एक्सपीरियंस लेना चाहिए, उसके बाद हमें एमबीए परस्यू करना चाहिए, या फिर राइट आफ्टर योर ग्रेजुएशन यू कैन परस्यू योर एमबीए. तो अगर मैं लेट्स से लवन है जिसने राइट आफ्टर ग्रेजुएशन अपनी एमबीए की, उसकी ग्रोथ में क्या असर देखने को मिलेगा, और एक तरफ पंकज है जिन्होंने 3 से 4 साल का एक्सपीरियंस लिया फिर एमबीए की, उनकी करियर ट्रेजेक्टरी, करियर ग्रोथ कैसी रहेगी? सो दिस इज, आई नो थोड़ा लेंथी क्वेश्चन हो गया, बट या आई वांटेड टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड नो योर टेक ऑन दिस.
Are you talking only about India?
या ओके.
Indian MBA? हाँ. तो while this does not stand true with most other countries, इंडिया में आपको वर्क एक्सपीरियंस का जरूरत नहीं है to do an MBA. Like
ओके.
most colleges don't even mandate it, probably other than ISB and a couple of other executive MBA degrees. ISB
ओके.
is amazing, no doubt. It requires 2 years of work experience. Other than that, no college demands it. And because it is not a mandate, not every college has a criteria for it. I'll tell you how the selection happens. आपका जो भी कैट का स्कोर है ना, दैट इज ऑब्वियसली कंसिडर्ड, बट उनके पास एक पूरा फॉर्मूला होता है. से 10th स्टैंडर्ड 10%, 12th स्टैंडर्ड 30%, ग्रेजुएशन 20%, work experience might be 5%. So it varies college to college. All your IIMs also have it different. And
ओके.
not everyone includes work experience. And that speaks volume as to why it may not be necessary. So I'll tell you an example. Like while freshers, I won't say are the highest demand in terms of jobs. Say marketing jobs के लिए freshers का ज़्यादा demand होता है, sales के लिए ज़्यादा demand होता है, consulting may or may not happen because they don't trust you enough. And it is true. Like अगर आपने work experience लिया है, you are better equipped in a professional setting, and it is a
ओके.
professional. So ज़्यादा helpful होता है whenever you have a work experience and you're doing MBA. In terms of placement, थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है, not too much.
Okay.
So in reality, I do not believe that you need to have work experience. It's okay if you have work experience, and too much work experience, what I have seen, may not be the best thing. Maybe say 4 5 years tops is still okay. Beyond that, so people would say ki you go abroad and do your MBA, or only ISB is the option. But if
Mm-hmm.
it is say 1 2 years, that is appropriate. But if I had to give advice to somebody who is studying right now, I would say do it directly after your college. Because
Okay.
just think about it. Say you graduate from a college and you're earning a say 5 6 lakh ka package,
Mm-hmm.
and you are sitting, you join your MBA, you 2 years ka job you do, and then you go for that MBA. 2 years में maybe six ka eight हो गया, या maybe nine हो गया. You're
Mm-hmm.
sitting, say, one of the blackies, like the top six IIMs ka placements. You will be sitting with the same people who may not have done their, who may not have opted for employment after their degree.
Okay.
Their average and your average salary can be exactly the same. Say both
Oh.
of you get the same job of say 25 lakhs. At the end of the day, the other person got it directly after their college, and you gave in 2 years of probably good work experience, but got the same job. So
Okay.
maybe my way to see it is maybe 2 years you are behind in your career. So
Okay.
I do believe that it's if you're doing it in India, if it is not ISB, definitely do it right after your bachelor's degree.
Graduation.
There's no
Okay.
necessarily like there's no like substantial weightage to your experience.
Okay.
Probably I
Got
think
it.
one or two top IIMs give it, but even if you don't have that, you can still get admission, right? So what's the point?
Okay. Got it. पंकजा, मूविंग ऑन टू आवर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. मुझे यहाँ पर ये समझना है कि लाइक जब आपने एमबीए में जब आपका एडमिशन हो गया, तो लाइक यू वर वेरी क्लियर फ्रॉम द डे वन कि यार आपको कंसल्टिंग रिलेटेड डोमेन में ही जाना है, या फिर अपनी एमबीए जर्नी के बारे में आप एक्सप्लेन करो, वो 2 साल कैसे थे उस एमबीए जर्नी ने, और एक जो एक ग्रेजुएटेड पंकजा थी, और एक जब एमबीए के बाद जो पंकजा टर्न आउट हुई, तो उनमें क्या डिफरेंस था ओवरऑल पर्सनैलिटी में, स्किल सेट्स में, और एमबीए ने आपकी पर्सनैलिटी को कैसे शेप किया, फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन. एंड सेकंड की आपने अपनी एमबीए की जर्नी के मतलब किस फेज में रियलाइज किया कि हाँ यार मेरे लिए मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग रोल ही बहुत सूटेबल रहेगा.
Okay. So I'll start from pointer. So I come from an engineering background, Mumbai University. However, the pointer system is I had a 7.11 pointer, which translates to 66 or 67%. Now, there's a thing in MBA colleges. They say 777, 888, 999, which means 10th, 12th, and graduation. Now,
Okay.
you may think it's not important, but it is very important because this will decide which college you get,
Okay.
because we place a lot of importance. So, because my percentage was also less in my graduation, I did have a bit of disadvantage. So, my college options were definitely limited. So I
Okay.
knew I would go to a emerging college, like one of the newer IIMs, and I knew my opportunities there would be a bit more limited. So when I enrolled for the college, I was thinking, how are the placements? It's a new college. It is based out of a town in Odisha. People don't even
Okay.
know it. It is an IIM. It has importance, but it is not Ahmedabad or Calcutta. Like I
Hmm.
knew it, and I also knew maybe the college may not offer the best of the placements for me. Maybe it may not be to my liking, so I might have to look outside. So I had a
Okay.
couple of things in my mind when I enrolled in MBA. First,
Okay.
I knew my options were limited with respect to my score, my CGPA. I need to improve that. I was like, one last chance I'm doing at education, definitely want to get a good rank. So that was
Okay.
goal number one, where I was clear. Second point, with respect to placements. So when I entered MBA, I was like, because I did program management, I was like, marketing अच्छा लग रहा है, marketing जाते हैं.
Okay.
Like ज़्यादा सोचा नहीं था at that point. I was like, marketing is good. I'll probably go for that. So for marketing roles, FMCG companies and all are like generally very good. So that was on my
Okay.
mind. Later did I realize there's limited options there.
Okay.
So I had this mind in my mind कि let's grow my LinkedIn. So in the
Okay.
beginning of my MBA, I decided एक तो score अच्छा करना है, LinkedIn I need to grow. Any company that I want to join, I should have like a senior person on my LinkedIn profile from that company, so that if I
Okay.
am worthy enough, I will maybe message that person to see if there's an opening in his team or something, and I should be able to at least talk to that person. Like, and these
Okay.
people should be there in my connections. That was
Okay.
another goal. I walked in with that. When I entered MBA, a lot of things were happening, like club activities, committee activities, summer placement started like soon after we joined. Like I enjoyed it thoroughly, everything. A couple of advantages that I had was because I had some work experience, I was rather more confident, I would say. I had more to speak about because MBA subjects are not like your other degrees. MBA you
Hmm.
generally uses like a case study method,
Yeah.
which means you have books assigned, you do that outside of the classroom. They'll be giving you cases and you solve these business cases in the lecture. And likely you should have read the case before and then come to class. So
Okay.
the methodology is very different. So people who had work experience there, like myself, obviously had some sort of advantage. So at that point, I used to go very well prepared. In fact, I joined a committee also, academic committee. And my one aim to
Okay.
join academic committee was I should be a ranker. I will be
Oh,
active in class, I will study everything, and I will definitely rank. I'll do something I didn't do in my engineering.
okay.
And that's what happened. I got one of the ranks in my MBA as well. So I did study very well over there. And probably a few months down the line, I realized, okay, the market is opening up. So COVID had just happened, 2020. 2021, may I realized market is opening up a lot. Lot of opportunities are opening up. So while I enjoyed my MBA and everything, I was like, let's keep all of the MBA things aside. Scoring is one priority, placements is one priority. So, I mean, ironically, I got placed in Accenture again from my college for
Okay.
a senior business analyst role. So it was,
Okay.
and I was out of the placement cycle before I knew it. This happened in the
Okay.
first month of the placements. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, this happened. So let's focus on the LinkedIn game now. I mean, left, right, and center. I used to shortlist companies. I used to say type vice president, like all of these top positions. And I used to like just send connection requests to everybody. I must have done this to
Mhm.
like hundreds of people at that point. And that actually bought me a lot of fruit because I got both of my jobs, be it PwC or Razorpay, via that only. So I
Okay.
grew my LinkedIn connections to like 17,000. I got a top three rank in my MBA as well, of which I got a scholarship. So that also
Good.
worked out. So while my extracurriculars, I would say, were a bit limited, my MBA was about learning, just reading through all the cases very well, just like understanding more about the business world a lot more, and focusing on my otherwise professional growth, such as LinkedIn. So yeah, that's pretty much
Okay.
my 2 years of MBA journey. It was a
Okay.
very, I was an almost nerdy person during that time. So yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for the detailed response. Now moving ahead. So I would like to know, like from the viewer's point of view, कि यार LinkedIn का कितना important role है? Like if you know, what is your success mantra or success tips to our audience? आप उन्हें क्या पास ऑन करना चाहते हो कॉलेज ग्रेजुएट्स को या पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट्स को जो हमारा ये पॉडकास्ट देख रहे हैं कि यार आप लिंक्डइन को कैसे आपका लिंक्डइन गेम कितना स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए और लिंक्डइन से आप ऑफ कैंपस कैसे जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज को टैकल कर सकते हैं या फिर अपना लिंक्डइन कैसे ग्रो करें कि आपको जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज या जॉब ऑफर्स मिल जाए.
Right. So see, जब आप college student हो, first year, second year, when you meet somebody, you ask for Instagram ID. Now, fast forward to after graduation, that Instagram ID sometimes, a lot of times changes to LinkedIn because you want to know more about the person. कहाँ से पढ़े, कहाँ काम करते हैं. So I mean that just speaks volume about how important LinkedIn is. Why
Okay.
you should definitely focus on it, like, no, you don't have to be an influencer or anything. You just have to know a lot of people, especially if you're coming into the business side of work, will look you up on LinkedIn. Now, I would always suggest college students to think about in what direction they know. I understand nahi pata hota college time pe, but they can
Hmm.
just like portray like a decent image on LinkedIn. What do they do? Projects ka baat kar sakte hain. But like be a bit more active because it definitely holds a lot of importance. Like I'm not saying post regularly, but you can start off. Post about your projects, post about maybe any scholarships achievement, any competitions you might have taken part during your engineering or commerce degree. You can always post about these small milestones. It's a start at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be a promotion post or a I'm joining this company as first post. You can start off in your college time, because at least for the next 5 to 10 years, I do believe LinkedIn is going to be the place where you're going to network a lot, and you might just get a lot of job opportunities there. Because if you bar your placements which are there in your college, बाद में तो you have to go through laterals. अब naukri.com, LinkedIn का job feature, ये सब तो चलता रहेगा. But where do you talk to people? Now when you like जब आप apply करते हो naukri.com पे एक job के लिए आपने CV भेज दिया, but a lot of times कोई like you don't get a response, you don't get a feedback, nothing. Now, if you actually try talking to people who work in that company, I'm not saying you'll get a response. I'm saying you might just get a response. And in this case, when you send your CV, an algorithm doesn't look at it, a person looks at it. Because a lot of people say वो algorithm में fault है, मेरा CV तो अच्छा है. तो अच्छा है तो बात करो लोगों से and get it noticed. That's something that I totally followed. And I also do believe if you like, say connect with the right people, maybe if your whole profile isn't presented very well on paper, because freshers का इतना कुछ लिखने के लिए होता नहीं है, or if you have work experience also, sometimes your algorithm doesn't pick it up. But if you
Hmm.
talk to a person and if you do believe you have the relevant experience, relevant skills, that person might just recognize it. And चलो उन्हीं के टीम में ओपनिंग हुआ, they might send it across. And an employee sending it across, not via a portal, but directly, makes a lot of difference. So for that
Okay.
particular reason, definitely it holds a lot of importance. But you should definitely start being active, even if you are a student, it goes without saying. And that too in this generation, everybody, like, I think there are so many 18-year-old influencers right now. So why not LinkedIn?
True. True. In complete agreement. So moving on, Pankaja, like I would like to know about your PwC journey, like because I have seen आपने PwC में बहुत अच्छा ग्रो किया, like I believe आपका वहाँ पर प्रमोशन भी हुआ था to senior consultant role. So and I believe you have worked there for I believe 3 years.
2 years actually.
Yeah. Okay, 2 years. Yeah. So could you share about your experience की आपकी professional growth कैसी थी, and if you are comfortable sharing not explicitly about your monetary growth as well, like I know for obvious reasons you can't disclose your
Yeah.
explicit uh, package, but yeah, on a broader picture you can share your monetary growth at PwC.
ठीक है. सो सी कंसल्टिंग का रेपुटेशन है कि इट इज़ वन ऑफ द स्लाइटली बेटर ऑफ पेड प्रोफेशंस. आई मीन इट्स लाइक एनीथिंग स्ट्रेटजी, एनीथिंग कंसल्टिंग हैज़ दैट रेपुटेशन इन द मार्केट. इट वाज ऑब्वियसली वन ऑफ द रीजंस व्हाई आई आल्सो वांटेड टू गेट इनटू कंसल्टिंग. बट
Okay.
अदर देन दैट ना, कंसल्टिंग का ऐसे नहीं है, मार्केटिंग नहीं है, प्रोग्राम मैनेजमेंट नहीं है. इट्स लाइक एक ही बिजनेस या एक ही सर्विस नहीं है, चेंज होता रहता है. कंसल्टिंग का नेचर इज लाइक दैट. सो यू माइट बी वर्किंग ऑन वन प्रोजेक्ट टुडे, इट माइट चेंज टुमारो. So in terms of growth and skill set, na, it is never ending. Because I entered consulting without knowing how to read companies का जो financial statements होता है या annual reports होता है. मतलब कभी सोचा नहीं था इसको पढ़ना आना चाहिए. Like it's not something that I thought is a skill. But later, by the time I was 3 months into consulting, I had done like so much of benchmarking studies for multiple clients. I could just read through an entire 150-page annual report in like 30 minutes to get the major insights. And then that changed to a whole different say airline company. So in general, I had to study about different countries airlines altogether. Then fast forward to another project, I had to study about the aviation regulations across different countries. So the context kept changing, and probably even a lot of my knowledge, because I learned something in project number 1 and project number 2, doesn't mean it directly benefits me in project number 3, because project number 3 could have a different background altogether. So I'm constantly learning. So what
Okay.
I learned here in 2 years, that is like unmatched, because different sectors, different countries, different companies. It was like a lot of data that I consumed in 2 years, a lot of different, say, financial modeling that I did. So it is one of the best growth paths that you will ever get on. And because you
Okay.
have done this, once you get out of this field, you feel like इतना कर लिया, अगर एक महीने में एक पूरे कंपनी का सब कुछ जान लिया, ये तो कर ही लेंगे. So that's one
Okay.
attitude that you definitely have. In terms of monetary growth, I will say, yeah, I think my first job would have been, after, I mean, my PwC would have been 3x, 3.5x of my pre MBA salary.
Oh.
And yeah, I mean, consulting is also very rewarding. So it generally gives you like good bonuses and everything. So from that 3.5x also, within 2 years, I sort of multiplied that also into 1.9. So, I mean, if I were to compare my salary right now to my pre MBA salary, it's, I think, I've grown 6x. I mean,
Oh.
these are, otherwise, you won't easily have it. It might take me maybe 7 years of work, like working elsewhere.
True.
So,
True. True.
yeah, it's one of those things in India, which if you do, you definitely get like an accelerated growth. Doesn't
Okay.
mean you won't get it otherwise, but maybe the opportunities might be tougher. And India loves people who have studied a lot, who've done this MBA and all. So
True.
definitely that's something that's beneficial.
Okay, great. Moving on to our next question, Pankaja, like I like from the ये सबसे ज्यादा हमारा जो हमारे व्यूअर्स हैं वो इसी जो या फिर यंगस्टर्स हैं वो इसी क्वेश्चन में ज्यादा इंटरेस्टेड रहते हैं, like apart from knowing your journey, about knowing your hustles and all about your failures and setbacks, the main question that comes out from our podcast is that कि अगर हम मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग की बात करें, ठीक है, तो इसमें पूरा एग्जैक्ट करियर रोड मैप आप एक्सप्लेन करो कि रोड मैप कैसा रहता है, क्या क्या ग्रोथ अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, और स्किल्स क्या क्या स्किल्स आनी चाहिए, ठीक है, एक तो ये, और दूसरा कि मैंने ये चीज ऑब्जर्व की, लाइक आई आल्सो कम फ्रॉम एनआईटी सूरत कला, आई हैव डन माय मास्टर्स, सो जो टॉप आईआईटीज होते हैं या एनआईटीज होते हैं या फिर टॉप बी स्कूल्स भी होते हैं, तो उनमें उन कंपनीज में ऑन कैंपस प्लेसमेंट का प्रिविलेज होता है, वहाँ पर पीडब्ल्यूसी डायरेक्ट आती है या फिर बिग फोर जितनी भी बड़ी बड़ी कंसल्टिंग कंपनीज है, दे विजिट द कैंपस। तो यहाँ पर हम क्वेश्चन को ना दो पार्ट में डिवाइड कर लेते हैं। एक पार्ट है पहले स्किल सेट्स, क्या क्या स्किल्स आनी चाहिए, ठीक है, कि एक ग्रेजुएट है वो क्या क्या स्किल्स सीख सकता है, ठीक है, अपनी पढ़ाई के साथ साथ थर्ड ईयर में फोर्थ ईयर में, जिससे वो अपना चांसेस स्ट्रॉन्ग कर सके कंसल्टिंग में आने के लिए। सेकंड कि जो अगर कंपनी ऑन कैंपस आ रही है, सो इट्स आई कैन से केक वॉक जर्नी, क्योंकि अगर कंपनी कॉलेज में आ जाती है ना तो आपकी आधी या 70% हेडेक खत्म हो जाती है, लेकिन जब आपको ऑफ कैंपस लिंक्डइन के थ्रू, naukri.com के थ्रू अप्लाई करना होता है ना, वहां पर बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रगल और हसल स्टार्ट होता है। तो जो बंदे ऑफ कैंपस देख रहे हैं, ठीक है, और उनके पास कोई भी टैग नहीं है, आईआईटी एनआईटी और आईएम का कोई टैग नहीं है, वो अपना करियर कैसे मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग में टॉप फर्म में कैसे स्टैब्लिश कर सकते हैं खुद को?
Right. So consulting has like two prerequisites, I would say. एक तो आपका जो scores है, that generally if you look at consultants, they must have either done well on all of their degrees, 10th, 12th, bachelor's, masters, or at least in their latest degrees. So luckily, fortunately, in my case, I had aced my MBA very well, so I was a ranker there. So that worked out for me. That's one metric they look at. Second, in terms of achievements, like they want to look at say spikes in your CV. Like kya acha kiya. So these two are definitely like must-haves that you're supposed to have when it comes to a shortlist, because it's unlikely that without this, you might get that interview call. Now,
Okay.
supposedly you do get this interview call that you've checked both of these prerequisites. Then it's so all of the consulting companies, they have one interview approach. It's called a case interview. Now, case interview, when you enter MBA, you generally are familiar with what it is. But for the larger audience, I'll just talk about what these case interviews are. So, because consulting is about business cases, your case interviews can be, say XYZ company's profit is declining since 5 years, figure it out. Or this is an American company, they want to choose between India and Japan to enter. How to enter, what should they price their product at, and give a strategy. So these are random questions. People ask more clarifying questions. They'd talk about numbers, population, target market. Now these are things you'll even study. It's not rocket science. Books are available online. Case in Point is a very popular book. Other than that, your top IIMs release their own case books in which they will have this question and they will have an approach. It'll be like a interview sort of script wherein they'll talk about the interviewee's questions, then like all the answers, all the clarifying questions. It will be exactly how you would give the interview. So it's like a transcript altogether, which will help any aspiring candidate study. But it is all about knowing these case studies very well. Like first you read it, then you get a friend to practice it. So like once you have like a one-on-one sort of an interaction with somebody and do these case interviews, which is a proper full-fledged thing in MBA schools, you have
Okay.
these interview practices with your fellow classmates, friends, everybody. So and then you are like decently prepared, and then you can probably move towards like actually signing up for these companies. But these
Okay.
are like very bare minimum that you definitely have to do.
ओके, गॉट इट। सो लाइक मूविंग इसमें एक और स्किल सेट्स का आपने बताया, लेकिन ऑफ कैंपस वाले अपनी जर्नी, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, लाइक सपोज आई हैव डन माय बीटेक फ्रॉम टियर 3 कॉलेज, ओके, और नॉर्मल प्राइवेट कॉलेज से मैंने अपनी बीटेक की, तो अगर मुझे कंसल्टिंग में एंटर करना है तो मैं किस लाइक लेट्स से मैं सेकेंडरी रिसर्च या फिर प्राइमरी रिसर्च से स्टार्ट कर सकता हूँ, तो वो हायरार्की क्या रहती है कि ठीक है आपने तो एमबीए करके आपने कंसल्टिंग डोमेन स्टार्ट किया, बट एक बंदा है जिसे एमबीए नहीं करनी, लाइक लेट्स से देयर कैन बी एन नंबर ऑफ रीजंस, पैसा नहीं है, कुछ भी है, या उसे आगे पढ़ाई नहीं करनी, लेकिन हाँ, ही इज ड्रीमिंग टू एंटर टू द कंसल्टिंग डोमेन, तो क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं उसके लिए या फिर नहीं रहेंगी?
So so I will say hair, but take it with a pinch of salt because it's lesser than otherwise.
ओके
So you don't generally, if this is the case, आप as a consultant नहीं join करते, analyst से join करते हो. It's like
ओके
analyst, consultant, and then you go up manager. That's how the consulting hierarchy is. So if you've not done your MBA, you can join as an analyst. Now,
ओके
generally, how consulting works, they don't open up these analyst positions for all the colleges also. But like, in luck by chance, you reach out to somebody relevant and they interview you, you might just get that opportunity. But
ओके
this doesn't happen. These companies won't go to all the campuses for their placements, very select few. And rarely is it that you'll see the openings online also. But if you do get it, you can definitely have the same approach towards studying and get the opportunity. But yeah, definitely it's out there. It's not like it's impossible, but you might have to start off at a slightly lower level, maybe work, say, 2 extra years. So you might be 2 years behind your MBA batchmates, 2 to 3 years maybe.
ओके
So that's one difference. Definitely, your growth might be slower in terms of money.
ओके
It's like there are certain fixed numbers which MBA graduates get in select few companies. You may not get that exact number even when you get the consultant promotion, is what I heard from other people.
ओके
So that's one thing.
got it so moving ahead to our next question. So Pankaj, like as you have taken an exit from a consulting role, so what do you think, अगर जैसे मुझे 3 से 4 साल का कंसल्टिंग का एक्सपीरियंस है, सो व्हाट आर द अदर ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल फॉर द एग्जिट, लाइक मैंने 4 साल मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टेंट का काम कर लिया, अब मैं किस किस डोमेन में और जा सकता हूँ, और मार्केट में क्या क्या प्रोफाइल, क्या क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज
Yeah.
और ओपन हो जाती है मेरे लिए?
So there are two sides to this. One, because you're a consultant, like general belief है market में कि ये लोग कर लेंगे because they are quick learners, which is
ओके
true because consulting में अलग-अलग projects में काम करके आप quick learners हो जाते हो. So that opens up a lot of opportunities, but it won't be all of the opportunities. I'll tell you the most common roles that people generally exit into. One is product management. So to be
ओके
honest, product management is not that different from consulting. It's like consulting is for you do it for different companies. Product management का you do it for the respective product. But it's
ओके
like relatively similar, बस थोड़ा और execution होता है उस role में. That's one. Then you have the CEO's office, MD's office, then chief of staff. ये वाले roles are very prominent. Third category is any strategy role, which is a bit of program management and strategy. So it can be interchanged also in some companies. So
ओके
these are the three large buckets of major exit points for any consultant.
Okay, got it. So my next question would be, this is on a lighter note. So like, could you explain a day in a life of a consultant? Like,
Yeah.
एक दिन कैसा रहता है उनका? तो मैंने ये भी बहुत सुना है कि यार उनको बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रैवलिंग करनी पड़ती है। तो
Hmm.
थोड़े से प्रोज एंड कॉन्स बता दीजिए इस कंसल्टिंग के, क्योंकि बाहर से देयर इज अ सेइंग दैट ग्रास इज ऑलवेज ग्रीनर ऑन द अदर साइड। तो क्या-क्या प्रोज हैं, कॉन्स हैं इस जॉब के, वो थोड़ा हमारे व्यूअर्स को आप बताएं तो अच्छा रहेगा।
So in terms of pros, there's always travel and money, no denying
ओके
that. And cons is also one travel because if you're traveling in consulting, it might mean Monday to Thursday you are at client location, wherever that client might be. Your luck whether you get it Egypt or Saudi Arabia. So you travel over there and then you come back to your major city. Of course, if it's international, this changes. But a lot of times in India, Monday to Thursday you go to your client location, Friday you come back, which is why people say it's a lot of traveling. How a day in a consultant's life generally look is so generally we work a lot because you're in a client facing role. The client is paying you a lot to get done with the project in a very short duration. So because it's a short duration, the client also expects you to be proactive. So you have to be working like around the clock, sometimes start at 9, also work till 1 or 2. So it's like a lot of hectic hours. Also, there are good perks. Sometimes you get compensatory offs and everything. But more often than not, you do have to work around the clock often because it's a client facing role. You can't like not do something when the client is asking. In a non-client facing role, you're only answering to your manager. Here
ट्रू
you're answering to the client. So there's a lot of difference. And how the work is, I mean, it's very difficult to describe how the work is because it changes project to project. But more often than not, you are like, say, modeling out different scenarios on your Excel, trying to do a lot of research about the client company, their competitors, presenting your insights in the most beautiful manner possible. So, in terms of how your everyday would be, it would involve one of these activities: a lot of data analysis, a lot of slide making, a lot of research as well. So, that would essentially be 3 to 4 major things that you do in your most days.
Cool. As we are proceeding to the concluding part of our podcast, so here I have couple of questions. First, कि like you can share your thought process or views in a layman language, क्योंकि
Hmm.
हमारे viewers को like इतना ज़्यादा nitty gritties में नहीं पता, because most of the viewers are not directly working in the consulting domain. So what is the difference between a strategic consultant or and a management consultant? इसमें क्या डिफरेंस रहता है ये? और सेकंड कि जो अगर हम एज अ कंसल्टिंग को ब्रॉडर पिक्चर में देखें, तो उसमें हमारा ये कंसल्टिंग प्रोफाइल बिजनेस एनालिटिक्स रोल से या डेटा एनालिटिक्स रोल से कैसे कैसे रिजेंबल करती है, फिर क्या 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 सिमिलरिटीज हैं या क्या की डिफरेंसेस हैं? ये मेरे लास्ट क्वेश्चन है.
ठीक है. So, in terms of the difference between management consultant and strategy consultant, I'll also add one more: business consultant.
ओके.
So, like, there are some companies who call management consultants as business consultants. You can put that in one bucket.
ओके.
Generally, when you call yourself strategy consultant, now if you're from the, like, consulting companies are like, fixed. You have McKinsey, Bain, PCG. You have, say, AT Kearney, Arthur D. Little, Accenture Strategy, your big four, then a couple of other boutique consulting firms. So if you are a consultant in these companies, a strategy consultant, management consultant, business consultant, it's the same. But
ओके.
outside of these firms, if you get this title, then you are like a strategy manager slash program manager. But over here,
ओके.
largely it means the same. So in terms of terminologies, it is like this only. What was the second part of your question?
Like how is this consulting as a whole, if I am asking, what how is it related to data analytics role or business
Correct.
analytics role?
So, okay. So
एंड द
as a,
स्किल सेट यू कैन शेयर कि यार क्या कॉमन स्किल सेट रिक्वायर्ड है, और क्या क्या सिमिलरिटीज हैं जॉब में या फिर क्या डिसिमिलरिटीज हैं?
So similarities to definitely have, because what you do as a data analyst, probably minus your SQL or Python, like minus using those extra Hyphendo tools. If you're just doing, say, Excel basis data analysis or business analytics, it is what you definitely have to do in consulting. But
ओके.
consulting is also larger, because, like, तुम्हें सिर्फ data नहीं निकालना है. You have to make more sense of the data. You need to look around you, market में, दूसरे countries में, see कि where how the data makes sense. Are you at par? Are you behind? क्या करना चाहिए? So a consultant will also do that, while a data analyst or business analyst will leave it at your data points.
ओके.
Maximum, they will make some insights out of it. They are not going to look at the bigger picture of where your client now stands with respect to that data point. So that's one major difference. But in a lot of companies, like, they will appreciate a business analytics experience also, because then your number crunching is like quick. So that's
Great.
good. Yeah.
Got it. So Pankaja, that was all from my side. So it was an honor for me, and thank you so much for taking out time from your busy schedule and saying yes for our podcast. And it was really an amazing podcast and amazing learning experience for me, and I believe जो भी हमारे audience ये देख रहे होंगे, so they will definitely learn a lot from your experience. So I'll just take a minute, I'll just summarize and the crux of the and about what I have learned from your story. So right from जैसे ही आपने बीटेक की उसके बाद आपका you started working in couple of startups और companies, फिर आपका गोल क्लियर था कि यार आपको एमबीए करनी है, और एमबीए की जर्नी में यू वर प्रीटी मच क्लियर कि यार मुझे अब बहुत ज़्यादा थोड़ा अपना ना, जैसे आपने बताया कि जो कंसल्टिंग प्रोफाइल्स होती हैं उनको या तो 10th 12th ग्रेजुएशन या मास्टर्स में एक बहुत अच्छा अपना बेंचमार्क सेट करना पड़ता है कि हाँ ये मेरा जो टाइटल है बहुत अच्छे मेरे को मार्क्स लाने हैं, या फिर एक जस्टिफिकेशन रहना चाहिए. ठीक है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, जो आपका लिंक्डइन वाला गेम था, डेट वाज रियली अमेजिंग कि यार आप अपनी लिंक्डइन प्रोफाइल, और आज की डेट में यार 15-15 साल के लोग कंटेंट क्रिएटर बने बैठे हैं इंस्टाग्राम पर, तो हमें लिंक्डइन का गेम, क्योंकि हर कोई कंटेंट क्रिएटर नहीं बन सकता है इंस्टाग्राम पर. सो
Yeah.
इफ प्रोफेशनली अगर हम बात करें तो लिंक्डइन पर हमें बहुत ज़्यादा एक्टिव रहना पड़ेगा, स्टैंड आउट कर सकते हैं, और हम कि कुछ कुछ अपने अचीवमेंट माइलस्टोन शेयर कर सकते हैं. सो एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस कि और हाँ, मेरा एक और लास्ट क्वेश्चन वो था कि यार चलो ठीक है, वो हम ना उसमें कवर कर लेंगे अपने रैपिड फायर राउंड में. Okay,
Okay.
so yeah, that was it. So thank you so much. Shall I start my rapid fire?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So like it's going to be a quick, ठीक है, मतलब ज़्यादा elaborative answer नहीं, just one or two words of answer. Then and this we will be sharing on our Instagram reel as well for the promotion. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, 60 seconds with Pankaja. So Pankaja, like your go-to comfort food.
Misal, I'm Maharashtrian. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite book that you have read recently.
It's actually Harvard Business Review strategy book.
Okay. Okay. So dream company where you would like to join one day.
McKinsey.
Okay. And at which profile?
Maybe as a consultant only.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you like where do you invest your money?
Currently, basic mutual funds and stocks, nowhere else.
Okay. So top three skills required to become a successful consultant.
Number crunching, understanding what's happening in the world around you, and to be able to present yourself and your whatever you've studied very well.
Okay. So what would you do if you are given a total amount of 1 crore rupees?
I will invest 95% of it, part in real estate, mutual funds, and some stocks. The 5% I will use for travel.
Great, great. And my last question would be that I have, I've been following you on Instagram, and I have also seen that you are taking on LinkedIn. I have seen that you are taking part in the marathons and all. So
Yeah.
one pro tip, and how do you manage your work, and in and you are also investing time in traveling. So वो balance आप कैसे create करते हो?
So one is being really good at your job. So your manager has enough confidence that he can trust you with the work, say whenever you're out of the office. That's one thing. Second thing is being a bit more disciplined to get done with your work in time. So you can make time for say an early morning marathon. Third thing, like I think any workout is good for you, even for your intellect. So that should definitely be prioritized, not oversleep. Sleep is very important. So yeah, just be more disciplined. Maybe become a morning person because that's good for you. I'm also trying that right now. So that should do it.
Your favorite travel destination?
Uh, I think I like Indonesia these days.
Okay. And how many countries you have traveled so far?
Very little. I mean, I'm a typical middle class person who's been to just two countries. That too in the last 6 months. I've just started
Oh,
my journey.
okay. So last question. Top three countries in your bucket list.
Top three countries. I will say Argentina, Chile, and Antarctica.
Okay, cool. So that was it, Pankaja. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for for taking out time and hopping over this conversation. Thank you so much. It was an honor for me to have you on our podcast.
Likewise, it was very nice talking to you.